Thanks for joining me online. I'm Kevin Hurd, back here again at the Tech Desk. We've been following a story with some information Apple lovers are really going to love to hear. CNET, along with several other tech blogs, are citing a new report put out by Citi Research. It details for Apple investors some information about when we can expect to see the next generation of iPads and iPhones begin to hit those store shelves. Now, I'm talking about the iPhone 5S, the iPhone 6, and the iPad 5, and we're also talking about two different versions of the iPad mini. One that the Citi Research note says is expected to be cheaper, maybe somewhere in the $230 to $250 range, and we're also waiting on a mini that would have a retina display. Now, if you haven't heard of that before, it's a very high resolution screen. It looks fantastic, and you'll find it on both the latest iPad 4 and the 3, but you won't find it on the mini right now. So let's break down exactly what the note said to the investors. First, we'll talk about the iPhone 5S. CNET is reporting that Citi Research says we're looking at a fall launch date, although right now production is behind, and that could impact the number of iPhones that are available when they come out. Here's what Citi Research's Glenn Young wrote, and while this does not preclude a September iPhone 5S launch date, we suspect volumes in September may consequently be challenged. Now, interestingly enough, just as that iPhone is coming out, you've got the iPhone 6 right around the corner. So if the idea of an iPhone 5 sounds appealing, you may want to consider waiting before rushing out to buy it. The Citi Research report says that the iPhone 6 is expected sometime in the first quarter of 2014. Now, an interesting point on that, it says the screen size is expected to be about 4.8 inches. Right now, the iPhone 5 screen size is roughly about 4 inches, and the HTC screen on the HTC One is about 4.7 inches by comparison. And then you've got the Samsung Galaxy S4, a lot of phones here, which has a 5-inch screen. So definitely a step up in terms of where some of those other smartphones are today. Now, no word on specifics on what we could see for changes on either phone, although past experience has shown usually the S versions, the 3GS, the 4S, usually don't have the big overhauls in them. Now, over to the iPad 5, not a lot of details about this. The Citi Research note does not give specifics on the iPad 5 other than it would be lighter and thinner. No exact launch period either on this one. However, it does indicate that production on the iPad 2 and the iPad 4 would be done at the end of the third quarter this year. And when that iPad comes out, by the way, you also might want to take a look at the iPad 4 and iPad 5 side by side. If it does not get a sweeping overhaul, you could save some money by going with the iPad 4. You still have a high resolution retina screen, a beautiful camera, and a thin, quick, and light machine. So still not bad by comparison. Now, if it won't be sold in stores after the iPad 5 is released, I'm talking about the iPad 4 here. There are plenty of spots you would be able to find it online. Now, to the iPad mini, which has become an absolute favorite of mine. Very nice machine, easy to work with. Again, we're talking about two different minis here. One that is supposed to be cheaper and another that would have a retina display. The note indicates we are on track to see the cheaper iPad sometime in the second half of the year, essentially July and on. According to CNET, they cite the note as saying it would be expected to cost somewhere between $230 to $250. Now, not exactly sure what will be the difference with this current mini, which costs $329 new. My guess would be a lower resolution front or back camera, maybe a slower processor, or perhaps maybe it only be available in 8 gigabytes rather than starting at 16 gigabytes for $329 like the current mini. So you would have some less space on there, less space for apps, music, and videos. And there's some disappointing news to tell you about surrounding the iPad mini with the retina display that we're expecting. CNET says the Citi Research note indicated that the launch date would be pushed back, maybe sometime at the end of the year or possibly into the first few months of 2014. Now, right now, as I said, the mini does not have a retina display, so we'll kind of have to wait and see how all that pans out. Of course, things very well could change, but this at least gives us a good, clear picture right now of what we could be seeing. Now, if you missed any portion of this video or would prefer to see it in words, I do have an article up right now on kevintalkstech.com that will definitely be able to help you out. And hey, while you're there too, please take a moment, please take a moment to subscribe to us on YouTube. We'd really love to follow your comments. I really like interacting with you and being able to chat back and forth. If that's not your thing, if you've got Facebook, click on our Facebook page, give us a like, or follow us on Twitter. Any way that I can connect with you to be able to read your comments, to get your thoughts on these videos, really appreciate it. One of my favorite parts about doing this. All right, well, that'll do it for this episode. I'm Kevin Hurd, kevintalkstech.com. We'll see you again next time.